Wow, people. I don't know what else to say. We made it. This is episode 100 of the MMA Podcast. We got a full house tonight, joined by the original host, Chris, also Ramses, also Alan, also Yao. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to be talking MMA. We're also going to be talking about the first 100 episodes, the best interviews. We've taken trips to Vegas and seen fights. We're going to be BSing a little bit about that. Talking about the MMA world, a lot of disturbing news coming down about War Machine. We'll touch on that. We also have a UFC event this Saturday, August 16th. UFC Fight Night, Bader versus St. Preux. We're going to break that down and break everything down. Number 100, let's do it!
You're listening to the MMA Podcast.
That was Lenny Hart. That was probably the 30-something, 40-something episode. But yeah, man, 100. I can't believe it. Before we start breaking stuff down, really truly first, I just want to thank everyone, from the people who have been on the show and are on the call now, people who have been on the show and aren't on the call, the friends we've made on Twitter, the fighters we've had on and interviewed, the just all of it. It's been a really awesome ride, and man, I can't wait for the next 100 episodes. And I broke down the cast to start off, but let them introduce themselves. First and foremost, me and him were doing episode 1, and I'm really glad we were able to wrangle him for the 100th episode. He's usually working, but Monday nights worked out for him. Chris Lowe, where do we find you? How the hell are you? Number 100. Jesus Christ.
Man. Can't believe we're here, brother. I cannot believe it. Years later, we're still trucking. We've met a lot of incredible people. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Ramses, Alan, Yao, Ross, just incredible people. I'm stoked to be here tonight. Like you said, I got work off. I'm just flabbergasted sometimes, man, that we made it this far. How many connections we've made, press credentials, interviewing fighters, just, it goes on and on, man. I'm incredibly proud of it, man. Out of all the things in life, this is definitely top 5 for me, and I couldn't be happier to be here tonight.
Yeah, honestly, it's sort of funny because I started doing this around the same time I graduated from college, and I'm not lying. I'm more proud of this show than I am my college education. The second guy, he's been on almost all the recent ones. He first called in after UFC 153 when Big Nog submitted Dave Herman, and he told us very frankly that the fight was a work, and we've been hearing a lot of theories from him since. But honestly, man, I'm so glad you chose to call in and chose to sort of involve yourself with this weird ass show. But Ramses, dude, you are a comedic genius. I read your Twitter feed each day and just laugh my ass off with all the crazy shit you're saying. But where do we find you? What is your show? And how the hell are you, dude?
The word on the street comes to you via the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter. You guys can do what you want with that. But Jake from the MMA Podcast, it is an honor for you to have me on your 100th episode. Like you said, I was just a caller. Just one day. I didn't know you guys from Adam. I decided to call into this show back in the days. This was back when you guys, this was in the days where you guys were interviewing, John Fitch when he was coming up. And I just called in.
It was in 2012, almost 2 years ago. It's crazy to believe, but yeah, it was back when I was living in Chicago. So it was definitely 2012.
Yeah, man, we were all just young men, and now we're just old scholars, veterans, dude.
Young go-hards.
Thick and thin, man. We've been through the shit here, man. This is but we're still here kicking it. I'm honestly surprised that nobody's died. So I guess God bless us all. Here's to at least 100 more episodes, and then I'm out, man. But yeah, the MMA podcast, you heard it. It gave birth to the word on the street. I mean, without Jake, I wouldn't even know how to get my little stupid show live. I wouldn't even know. So Jake, I thank you. I congratulate you. And I really am honored. All you guys, man. You ever need a favor, you hit me up. You hit up Uncle Ramses. I got the word on the street.
Fuck yeah, and Chris and Ramses are two gentlemen I haven't yet had the chance to meet in real life. We've just done a bunch of radio. But the other two guys I have, the first one I met back last November at UFC 167. We stayed at the MGM Grand. We did it again at the Mandalay Bay just about a month ago for UFC 175. Alan, how the hell are you, dude?
I'm doing beautiful with a black eye, swollen cheek. I'm hanging in there and hanging out with you guys. It's wonderful to once again be graced by all of your presences. I missed you guys. It's been hard for me to get in lately, work and all that good stuff, but I'm honored to be here on the 100th episode of the MMA Podcast.
The eagle flies again, and of course we got to save the best for last. He is the truth. He is an up-and-coming MMA fighter. He will one day be UFC champion. I've seen him train. I've seen him fight. This dude is dedicated. He's my baby bro, one of my best friends. Yao, what's going on?
What's going on, guys? I'm back. I had to be here for the 100th episode with my boy Jake. Like Ramses, I started as a caller. And this podcast has saved lives.
That's right, it has. And before we start breaking down stuff, I do want to shout out people who have been on the show a lot, just couldn't make it tonight. Our boy, the Jew, Ross Finkelstein, E before the L, the most intelligent Jew businessman in the world. Actually feeling a little sick tonight, so we hope he feels better. He was going to try and be on the show, but unfortunately couldn't make it. He wanted me to tell you, Ramses, that he's suing you for defamation of character. You have any response to that?
Let me tell you something about Ross that nobody even knows, not even him. And I didn't want this to come out there, but I mean, live on air, you just forced me, dude. You're twisting my arm. Look, I am, of course, as I revealed, Ross Finkelstein's actual father. He is my bastard son. I slept with his mother and made him. But what he doesn't know is that when I made love to his mother, the one and only time we hooked it up, it was his mom's first time experimenting with cocaine. So therefore, technically, Ross, you are a crack baby. Word on the street.
Word on the fucking street. Yeah, damn, I can't break it down any better than that. Ross is a crack baby. Maybe he'll add that to the suit of defamation of character. Of course, shout outs to Hunter, who was with us on the Vegas trip about a month ago. It was Alan, Yao, Ross, Hunter, and I follow him at Hero Shinwoo. Follow MMA Mental, our buddy Ray, VJ Jeans, Sweet Pappy Jones. I haven't talked to him in forever, but Buffalo Dave, go ahead and shoot him a follow. Sweet Pappy Jones is our boy P Money, who actually was representing the podcast on Press Row at Glory 17. Hell of a guy. Of course, Davey Boy, who's been on a few calls. Conley Razor, been on a few calls. All of our friends on Twitter, The Enthusiast, Mystery Deja, Kevin Black. I mean, I say it every time, but I start giving shout-outs, and then I realize halfway through, like, there are so many awesome people we've bumped into that I would need to spend 20 minutes. I said Davey Boy, our buddy Dave, our boy Nixon's, our boy Eddie Law, fucking everyone, man. April, Elena, Lexi, whether you're warring with one another or not, you're a part of the family, and we love the shit out of you. Katie Bear, yeah, how are things going with you and Bay?
A little back and forth, you know. I told her I loved her, and she gave me the I love ya Like, so what is that? I don't know. I have to get to the bottom. This thing's going. It goes deep. It's like R. Kelly's hip hopera, trapped in the closet. But trust me, she's gonna break soon, and then I'll be happy forever. Word on the street. Praise his name.
Praise his name. The best gift, honestly, I've gotten since I moved to Denver was the DVD version of Trapped in the Closet from Ramses. That is a hell of a opera
Praise his
going
name.
down there. Speaking of gifts, it is my birthday in 2 days, so if you would like to send me any gifts, just DM me and I will give you my address. Please only gifts over like $250. I'm really not trying to open boxes if there's only going to be like a television in there or something stupid. But Jesus, y'all, 100 episodes. Man, honestly, probably the biggest thing we've done, sort of as a group. We tried to get Chris and Ramses out there, but just a month ago, Vegas for UFC 175. It's sort of spur of the moment. But Alan, yeah, when the fuck are we going back to Las Vegas? When is the next trip gonna be?
Well, if I can't make Japan coming up pretty soon, my coach is definitely about to leave in 2 weeks to go do Dustin Poirier's camp, and I will have to come support him. So it could be UFC 178.
I'm gonna try and
pray for the demise of my Japanese dreams.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it out to 178 if I have the money and or the time, because it is a long drive, but it's doable in a day. It's 12 hours long, so I mean, yeah, it sucks. You have to spend 150 to $200 on gas either way. But if you stay at a cheap place, get a cheap ticket, your whole trip can cost you maybe south of $500 or $600. So yeah, Cormier is my favorite fighter. I love Kat. I love Connor. Yeah. When are you gonna come out west next? I know your training schedule is super busy.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even know. We'll just have to see, but we definitely have to do it again.
You have any tournaments coming up soon?
Yes, I do. The IBJF New York No-Gi Pans.
What does
on
PANS mean?
September 26th.
Pan American?
Yes.
Nice. So if you win at that, will you progress to another one, or is it just a one-off thing?
No, it's just a one-off, but it's a very prestigious tournament. I'll probably have like 30, 40 guys in my division.
Wow. So they do this one every 4 months or every 6 months or something, right?
Every year, the 3rd or 4th week in September.
All right. Did you do it last year?
No, I did not, because they start at blue belt, and I was a white belt at the time last year, so
Okay.
this time I'll be doing it.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It sounds awesome. Chris, man, dude, all the people on the call have done a ton of episodes, but I don't think I've really done near as many interviews as I've done with you. We've spoken with Lenny Hart, Eddie Bravo, Misha Tate, Tom Lawler,
Chavello.
Corey. Out of all the people we've spoken with, which was your favorite, and which do you think was the most challenging?
Well,
I think we
first
might
off-
have the same answer for most challenging.
Okay, for me, it's a tie for most challenging. I gotta say, it's a tie between Tom Lawler and.
Yep, that was my answer.
But also, I gotta say, it's a two-way tie with Mark Hominick. That son of a bitch.
Oh man, I felt so honestly, it may have been the biggest fuck up we ever did. Mark and I are going back and forth. He gives me his contact stuff, and this is only our 6th or 7th episode, right? So we're still sort of new at it. I didn't have Twitter up while we did this. I didn't really learn to keep my Twitter feed up in case I get DMs or tweets or any of that. So apparently 20 minutes before the show, Mark sends me a DM saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be at my house. I gave you my house number and it's getting kind of late. So could you please call my cell phone because I'm going to be going over to a friend's." I didn't get this. So apparently Mark's wife and his newborn fucking baby are like trying to get some like peace and quiet, and I literally call this number like 4 times. I all of a sudden get like a frantic text from Mark saying, "Dude, could you please stop calling my house? What the fuck?" And we called him. We called him. Luckily, he had a super good attitude about it, and I was like, "Oh my god, bro, I'm so sorry." And he is like, "Yeah, it's cool, I guess." And like he sort of was joking around about it. What did he say to you, Chris? Like something about like your basement or something?
Well, yeah, it was a family thing. He was talking about how his family is really important to him, and I commented real simply, "Yeah, it is to me too. I live with my mom." And then he cuts me off and goes, "Oh, in the basement, huh? Oh, in the basement."
He dogged you so hard.
Dude, it was just one of those things where it probably shouldn't have bothered me, but it really got to me that Mark Hominick was dogging me about living with my mom after, he's lost like 4 fights in a row.
And then like 10 minutes later, didn't you like sort of casually bring up the fact you liked Overeem? And Mark's like, "Yeah, why don't you hang some Alistair Overeem posters up in your mom's basement, kid?" And it's just like, Jesus Christ, he's going hard at my boy Chris.
Yeah, I think he smelled the beta on me, dude. He smelled
Who
the
got
beta.
who got the last laugh? Because now Mark Hominick is fucking living in his mom's basement. Get the fuck out of here.
I just want to thank Mark for coming on the show. But yeah, that was fucking funny. Tom Lawler. He wasn't really a dick to us, but like he was just very sort of difficult, would sort of like second guess everything you asked. Like if you worded something in a weird way, he would focus on why you worded the question like that instead of actually answering it. Like he said something about like training jujitsu with his cat, and I said, "Man, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard." And he is like, "Really? Your entire life, you're what, 23, 24, your entire life, you've never heard of one single thing weirder than a guy grappling with his cat?" And like this is still pretty early in our run. It's like episode 11 or 12, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I've heard weirder than that.
Well,
it
was really bad because we had technical issues too. If you remember, like I was on the laptop, and it just wasn't working. So we had problems during the episode where I would be talking and be cutting in and out, and you guys couldn't hear me. So he's trying to deal with that. We're trying to talk to Tom Lawler, and Tom Lawler is basically Abed from Community. Like he's just got some kind of social disorder. It just didn't work.
Yeah, and the first, I think, 20 episodes we actually did on Blog Talk Radio, which was just a complete nightmare. The first time, the interview with Lawler, we actually had Misha Tate and Tom Lawler on the same episode, and I only remember that because I had to reschedule with both of them because we were going to do an episode and both of them were going to be on, and the Blog Talk site was just like down. And I'm like, I've scheduled interviews with like 2 pretty well-known fighters. Like, this isn't acceptable at all. And I demanded that they give me like all my money back from the 5 months I'd been with them, or I'd leave. And it was nice of them to give me a full refund for all the time I'd been with them, but I just left anyway because fuck them. So I learned how to set all of it up manually. We do it on Ustream now. Yeah, man. As far before we get to best interview, I do want to give Ramses a shout out for the Mike Straka interview we did. Man, I've gotten a little nervous during interviews. I don't know what was up. Honestly, I do. I just smoked way too much weed. I smoked like 7 rips. and we have Straka on, and I fucking just locked up. And luckily, I wasn't there solo, and Ramses was there to sort of bail me out. And like honestly, I stood up and I like took a drink of water, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm not like Mike, like, no rip on Straka, but we've had much bigger people on the show. It isn't like Straka's some crazy, you know, John Jones type guest, which honestly, if we had John Jones on, yeah, that would never happen. For a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons, one of which being he blocked me, trolled me on Instagram. That was super weird. But best interview, Chris. We've had a lot of awesome ones. Eddie Bravo. Honestly, mine would probably be a tie between Nate Corey, just because the Corey one got real. Like say what you want about Corey, and I've heard a lot of reports about him being a little bit of a douchebag. But man, the stuff he's been through, I mean. You know, he doesn't get a free pass to do whatever, but Jesus Christ, does that guy have a crazy story. For those who don't know, you might honestly want to go back and listen, because we talked 90 minutes, and a lot of it was about him leaving his community he grew up in. He grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I believe that was the denomination. And
no, he was Mormon.
No? Mormon? Was it Mormonism? Here, let me check, because before Nate Corey religion. Thank God for the fucking internet.
He was a Mormon, yeah.
He was a Jehovah's Witness. Suck it, both of you. Yeah, yeah. But
Google's full of shit, man.
I didn't know there was a difference, to be honest.
Yeah. So
it's all just magic to me. I don't give a fuck.
So he grows up in a community that he himself calls a cult, and they don't really talk to people outside their religious group. And once Corey really decided that this was not the right thing, and he left, and he decided not to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore, they communicated him. He says he speaks with his like parents and siblings like very rarely, like once a year maybe. It's really sad how so many people can be brainwashed, but it's a really sort of inspiring story of how Nate really didn't have any bearings for being social. He didn't play sports. He was just in this isolated place until his early 20s, I think. And he sort of broke out and started training and turned into an MMA fighter. And yeah, we actually asked him about Front Row Brian too. So if you're kind of curious about the relationship between them, Brian is a brother of mine. And to be frank, as far as their little disagreement, I tend to believe Brian. Because say what you will about Brian, and I've seen a ton said about him, when he says shit, it's pretty much always true. So whether you like him or don't like him, he is really credible, and I believe damn near everything that dude reports on. But yeah, Corey was awesome. Eddie Bravo, I think we had on for 30 or 40 minutes and talked about, 10th Planet and grappling, and he had a kid just a couple months beforehand, and actually he was walking the stroller. He sort of sounded winded, and I was like, "Are you rolling now?" He's like, "No, I'm walking up a hill with my baby." But we talked about fatherhood. It was a pretty cool interview. Chris, what do you think as far as your favorite interviews go? And don't worry, people. We're only going to spend a few more minutes jacking one another off before we get to the MMA shit.
I love jacking off. I love you jacking me off. I love jacking me all off. It's a good jack off. But oh fuck,
hot take.
Hey.
I mean, you already said some great ones. As far as overall, I'd say Nate Corey is probably my favorite. That was fantastic. I think that was over an hour and a half. I think that got close to 2 hours. Some really insightful stuff, and the dude got real. It was pretty awesome. But as far as what you and me did, I would have to say it's probably a tie between Misha Tate and Michael Schiavello for me. The Misha Tate interview was also pretty long, about an hour and a half, and I kind of stumbled at one point, I remember, and it made her laugh. And I think I made that chick laugh a couple times, so I can take that away the rest of my life. Hey, I made a Cupcake laugh. Fuck yeah. You know, how many people can say that? And Chiavello was really awesome. We got to talk some kickboxing, and he got fired up about MMA rankings.
He got super fired up. It's not about rankings. It's about ratings. Right. When he's talking about
that's
the
more
Chael
British
Jones fight. Yeah, I fucked up my Aussie accent there.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's it, man. Worst interview we ever did. Not the most awkward, but the worst one was probably Jeff Hoagland. That guy was fucking boring. That's it.
We love you, Jeff. I think Jeff was on the first or second episode. Darren Cruikshank, a shout out to him. He and John Albert, I think, were on the first episode. We've had Cruikshank on more than any other fighter recently. Really fun interviews with Aljamain Sterling and Justin Scoggins. Both of those guys have such a bright future, so check them both out. And I think unless anyone else wants to interject with anything, I think that about does it for all the self-pleasuring I wanted to talk about breaking down the first 100 episodes. Praise his name. We will move on. Damn, what has been going on in the MMA landscape? There's, it is. I hate to transition from such a positive thing to such a shitty thing, but it has been a super shitty week as far as MMA news goes, dude. Like, last week, we had this Grispy shit come out, which we did briefly touch on last week, so we won't get too much into it, but basically Grispy beat up his wife, trained his dog to maul and attack his wife, and in a sad but almost expectable turn of events, the wife is now defending him on Facebook, which, it's all just so crazy that she's airing all of this publicly, and that, she's defending this guy who trained a dog to attack her while asking for money from people on a GoFundMe account. It's honestly, it's just really sad. Ross sent me a really good tweet recently that was basically to the tune of, why is no one making a deal about how they have like children, and there's unsecured guns and cocaine and like all this shit laying around? Like, it just doesn't sound like a good place for a kid. We have the Bukau shit coming down, and now this War Machine stuff, which took a really, really, really ugly turn today. We'd seen like this I guess happened over the weekend, but we had seen tweets back and forth. Allegedly, War Machine had beat up his ex-girlfriend Christy Mack and a dude that she was with, and that was all we knew. And then we sort of saw tweets come from both people. War Machine claiming he was trying to surprise her with a wedding ring, and that, this and that, I'm not a bad guy, the cops won't give me a fair shake. And we hadn't really heard anything from Christy Mack except her pitching at her friend Amber Matthews, who said, like, she was sleeping with an MMA fighter and got caught. Fact. And Christy Mack just tweets back, yeah, that's not a fact, actually. That was all we heard from her till today. And then, Jesus Christ, today's shit got really, really, really fucking dark. She put out this message, which it is sort of long, but I'll read it just because you really can't get a scope of how terrible this was until you read this thing. She refers to the fighter War Machine with his real name John Copenhaver, and yeah, she says, at about 2 a.m. Friday morning, John Copenhaver arrived unannounced to my home in Las Vegas, Nevada. After he broke up with me in May, he moved out of my house and back to San Diego. When he arrived, he found myself and one other fully clothed and unarmed person in the house. Without a single word spoken, he began beating my friend. Once he was finished, he sent my friend away and turned his attention to me. He made me undress and shower in front of him, then dragged me out and beat my face. I have no recollection of how many many times I was hit. I just know my injuries. That injuries resulted from my beating. 18 broken bones around my eyes, my nose broken in 2 places. I'm missing teeth and several more broken. I'm unable to chew or see out of my left eye. My speech is slurred from swelling. I have a fractured wrist. Like, she has a ton of injuries. Basically, you know, like honestly, I'm sort of getting sick reading this, so I'll just give you the spark notes on the rest. He apparently attacked her with a knife, cut off some of her hair. Apparently said he was going to try and rape her, but was mad he couldn't get hard. I mean, this is like really dark, horrible shit. And then he goes to look for a sharper knife, and she's afraid he's going to try and kill her. So she bolts, knocks on a bunch of doors. Finally, someone sees her and calls the police. But I mean, dude, honestly, like, before I heard about this, I actually had seen a tweet by War Machine which said, I'm trying to figure out what to do, which most people assume that was him saying, I'm trying to figure out whether I want to kill myself or turn myself into the police. And I had told him, please turn yourself in, man. You know, there's no reason for this senseless thing to get any worse. Just turn yourself in. There are 2 sides to every story, but if Christy Mack's story holds weight and what she's alleging is true, fucking kill yourself, dude. There is no room. Like, that is so inhuman and so just gross. And like I am the last person who is gonna say off yourself, this and that. You know, I saw him on the Rogan show just a few months ago, and I think myself and most people's thoughts after watching that was, War Machine is a cooler guy than I thought. Because he was pretty well spoken, talking about jail, talking about this and that. But yeah, if this horrible story is true, you're not a human. You don't it's so fucking dark. Ramses, you tweeted earlier that you wanted to touch and talk about this, so I'll pass it to you first. Fuck, man. What are your thoughts on the allegations and War Machine, who I guess is MIA currently? There's a $10,000 reward for his capture.
Well, I know technically, legally, you have to say allegations, but we all saw the pictures and we've seen War Machine's tweets. We know he's pretty much at fault here. He's the one who did this to her. So yeah, hopefully I'll just say this to War Machine. Maybe he's out there listening, people. Maybe one of his friends can get this message to him. Listen to me, War Machine. Listen to me, John. The best thing that you can do, the smartest play that you can make right now, is to take your own life and kill yourself. All right. The cops, if you turn yourself in, there's a chance that they won't beat the fuck out of you. But, you're probably going to go to prison for the rest of your normal adult life.
I'm thinking suicide. If I had to bet, I'm thinking suicide by cop is your most likely scenario here.
Yeah, hopefully this idiot doesn't even let it come to that. I just, if he kills himself, no cops are going to have to risk their life trying to arrest him, trying to take him out. No innocent people are going to get in the way. Taxpayers won't have to bear the burden of keeping this man incarcerated for the rest of his, at least 20, 30 years. It's going to save money. And look, War Machine, if you're listening, you've got to kill yourself, man. Honestly, that's the only way to prove to Christy Mack that you indeed truly love her. It's the only way to redeem yourself in the eyes of everyone. And honestly, if you kill yourself, I can guarantee you, Christy Mack will take you back and get back together with you. You'll be happy forever, man. I know that doesn't make sense, but you're real confused right now, War Machine. That's all the more reason to take your own life right now as quickly as possible. Don't even think about it. Just trust me, bro. You don't want to face what's going to happen next. And if you really do truly love Christy, you'll do this for her, for yourself. For the kids. You're an inspiration to the kids, man. You don't want them to see you rot in jail. We'll just tell the kids that used to coach that Coach John he went to live on a farm or some shit. All right, we'll make you that deal. War Machine, you have to do this, man. It's the right thing to do, bro. It's the only way to get revenge and show everybody that you are truly an alpha male. Because the bravest thing you can do is in this life is take your own. That's the word on the street.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I'm not asking if you've ever broken bones, because there's a definite line between beating a woman within an inch of her life and an innocent slap. Have you ever had to put your hands on any massage girls?
Look, that's another thing I wanted to say to War Machine. We've all been there, bro. I mean, if I had a dime for every time I was in love with a girl and went to propose to her and instead ended up beating the fuck out of her and hospitalizing her, and then on the run from the cops, I'd be retired. I'd have that Chael Sonnen money. War Machine, we've all been there, man. Everybody sympathizes with you. That's why you have to do like the total alpha male shit of all time, which is hanging yourself or taking all those pills that they gave you. Just do it, man. I mean, just trust me, bro. Alpha male shit. Hashtag. Word on the street.
Word on the street. Chris, I heard you laughing a minute ago. What are your thoughts on all this War Machine shit? And we're gonna move like I'm not gonna stay on it. We'll do Chris Allen and Yao, and then we're just gonna move the fuck on because man, this is some dark shit, bro.
Yeah, it's dark shit, and also it's dark for me sitting in the second seat in this in the studio here next to fucking Ramses, trying to follow that guy.
I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, I forgot I got to put Ramses last every time because nobody can follow him. I apologize.
Yeah, man. What the hell? What am I gonna say? Go kill yourself. Now, and everything that we know here, everyone here knows that this guy has a history. He spent a couple years in jail. He's had incidents where he was spitting on cops, so they had to put a bag on his head. If you look at the guy and you look at the crowds that he's run with, you know that he's on the gear. He's on some crazy steroids. And worst of all, he has a mental health problem. We've known that for a long time. Like Jake brought up, he was on the Rogan podcast. He talked about how he's dealt with all kinds of depression and anxiety. And me, myself, I've dealt with it. And I can't imagine being an alpha male type, surging with testosterone and taking all kinds of steroids while dealing with that. Holy shit, that's a recipe for disaster. So to see this happen, man, it really is sad, and it kind of plays into what Jake said as well about this week just being a complete fucking downer with all the different stuff coming out, Grispy, and I just wish this sport would kind of take a happier turn, man. Maybe, we'll see Anthony Johnson just cuddling a husky, or I don't know, something weird. I couldn't come up with anything, but just imagine something happy. And yeah, man, him going crazy and doing this, it doesn't surprise me in the least bit. But what does surprise me is the extent of the violence, because you don't really expect to see something like that in our sport. He's fucking crazy, and he deserves some really harsh punishment.
Alan and Yao, before we get to you all, I did want to play a clip of this video that War Machine posted on YouTube about 5 months ago. The name of the video was "All I Wanted Was a Goddamn Slurpee." Let's listen to a clip of War Machine freaking out over a Slurpee.
It's fucking America. If I want to wear a fucking hoodie, I'm gonna wear a hoodie. And then the fucking other asshole that works there says he's gonna call the cops. He's not gonna serve me. All this fucking bullshit. Oh my fucking god. I wanna smash the fucking motherfucker. I dumped my fucking.
This guy sounds very
What the fuck?
very chemically balanced.
It was
Alan.
hot that day. He wanted to sleep.
Don't
Man,
defend him. You just told the guy to kill himself. Do not defend him.
Yeah, but on
like-
this one, I had his back 100%.
You know, it's like a thing of like certain people. You know, I don't know what it is, but it's almost like oh, is it just a coincidence that War Machine gets in a fight with a guy at a gas station, and all of us on the call have probably never been in a fight with a person at a gas station? Like, no one's probably ever threatened to call the cops on us at a gas station.
I work at a gas station. It's in reverse.
Except for Ramses. Yeah, shit, you're... Oh my god, this is some Inception bullshit.
That literally happened to me one time.
They called the cops on you?
No, they threatened to. This was a couple months ago, actually. It was in December.
Really?
I tweeted it out and everything.
What happened?
Basically, my card, like, for some reason or other, it, like, got declined or something as I was at, like, checking out, you know, just buying some Slim Jims and some beers and road beers, you know. But, like, my card got declined. But like the clerk, he didn't even notice. He was just like, okay, like, so as I'm walking out, he notices the mistake. He comes out of the store. I've got, you know, I'm walking with a cane in one hand and a bag of shit in the other. So like I'm just walking out. He puts his hand on me first before he says anything. Like, so I don't even see him. All of a sudden I got a hand on me and he's like, hey, hold on. And so, of course, I just turn and give him a fucking spinning elbow right to the chest, knock the wind out of him. But, like, he thought I was running out. Like, even though he knew it was a mistake, like card decline, he thought I was just stealing and running out. So he did the whole, I'm going to run out and try to stop this guy. But he put his hands on me. And that was my altercation at the gas station. I thought for sure he was probably going to call the cops, like, since, like, I did strike him. But nothing ever happened. Whatever.
Word on the street. Word on the fucking street. Alan, what do you think about this War Machine shit?
Did he just convert to Islam? Because it pretty much sounds like everything he did to Christy Mack was like an initiation process, you know, to convert to Islam. And he should also go kill himself because he will get his 72 virgin little boys if he kills himself.
Good point.
You heard it here first. War Machine was trying to convert Christy Mack into a Muslim. #fact. Yao, thoughts? You're from the mean streets. I know you've probably beaten up a few women in your day.
I really don't have much to say on this topic. It's unfortunate, but it happened.
That is true.
Fair enough.
It did indeed fucking happen.
This is Breaking Stuff by Yao. This all happened, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first from Yao and Chroma, a.k.a. Captain Obvious. What happened? Let's move on. I'm hoping that this gets as little publicity as possible. No one listens to this show, so I'm not worried. But like, as far as like mainstream, like ESPN stuff like that, I just hope it doesn't get reported on because it makes MMA look so shitty. Something that a lot of people are saying is also making MMA looks shitty. This bad blood between Daniel Cormier and John Jones. I love it personally because it's my favorite active UFC fighter in Cormier against my least favorite UFC fighter, which, yeah, I guess he is my least favorite. I mean, some of his trolls I actually think are funny, but the guy's just a douchebag going after 16-year-old kids, calling their girlfriends ugly and shit. Really, dude? You're like he has this little man syndrome, which is so weird because he's a giant and he's a fucking UFC champion, but he seems really obsessed with talking down to fighters and calling them son, and I'm gonna make you my wife and you're a pussy, and then he goes after 16-year-olds. The guy's just got a crazy thing going on. I have a clip from the Q&A where shit got really, really, really weird and homo. But let's listen to, I believe this happened the day after the podcast last week. A hot mic catches John Jones and Daniel Cormier talking incredible shit. It's on Deadspin. This is before an interview on SportsCenter. Go ahead and listen in. We've got name calling, death threats, the whole gamut.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. You're just the fakest person. I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. It's like you're a chameleon.
Hey, listen,
It's
I'm
awesome.
I'm a professional.
It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
The fact that you're a pussy hasn't changed.
It's
but I am
unbelievable. It's unbelievable how fake you can really be. Like, you are just such a fucking pussy. My God. It is amazing. It is amazing. But you know what? Hats off to you. You got a great PR person. Because they do a great job with training you, because you are just terrible. You're the fucking scum of the earth. You are a terrible human being, but you can sure turn it on, huh?
Thank you.
God, you fuck. I wish they would let me next door so I can spit in your fucking face.
You know I would absolutely kill you if you ever did something like that,
You
right?
could never kill me.
Oh, I bet you I could.
Then you should try, John. You really should try, John.
No, I would literally kill you if you spit in my face.
Yeah, let's try that, John.
Literally kill you.
Let's try that, John.
I'm not saying I would fight you. I said I would kill you if
John,
you did some
do you
stupid
think?
shit like that.
So, John, do you think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really?
And that was all we got. Also, before we get down in it, another clip. I'll fast forward, but this is the clip I was talking about where things got they got weird, they got erotic. I'll let you listen for yourself.
In me that tells me that there is no that you can beat me. I don't believe it. I really don't believe you can beat me.
Now you're contradicting yourself.
I'm being serious. I don't believe you can. How am I contradicting myself? What did I say exactly? Exactly, what did I say?
Listen,
I do believe I can.
You've been quoted many times, buddy. You've told me why I'm going to beat you many times.
I told you what?
You told me why I'm going to beat you many times.
What?
You've told me the reasons why I'm going to win many times. And
When did I tell you that?
And the things that you say.
Okay.
And the things that you say.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to show me.
I challenge you to break me.
I'm going to try, bud.
You think you can break my spirit?
I do. I really do.
I challenge you.
We will see on September. See, this is the beauty in all this, you know, like he could get mad, we could fight, but on September 27th, they're going to close that door, and Bob Cook and Javier Mendez are going to go on that side of the cage, and Greg Jackson, those guys are going on that side of the cage, and it's going to be just me, John, and someone else.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's when it's going to get good.
It's going to be intimate.
And passionate.
And passionate. I'm going to make him my wife.
Not that kind of presser.
You're going to be Mrs. Jones for the night.
That is not true. That could never happen,
I'm going to rub on that big old belly. And you're going to like it.
Yes, you will. It's going to be right in your face. I'm going to put it right in your face. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to smother you with my big old fat belly.
Go ahead.
Am I going to like it?
Connor? Hey.
It's actually pretty. It's actually kind of nice.
This is getting weird, guys. This is getting weird. Next question.
Megan Levy cuts him off. Dude, this is getting way too weird. Next question. I don't know if I like that more or if I liked Connor there. Like, Dustin was smiling some. People in the crowd are laughing their ass off. Connor is sitting there on the stool, stone-faced, probably thinking, "Aye, these fucking fancy boys." Man, like, as far as all this being good or bad for the sport, yeah, it is definitely going to sell tickets. But is this a bad look? Alan, I'll throw it to you first. What do you think about all this shit talking?
Oh man, to me a lot of it sounds like it's a work, but
were you trying to do like an accent or an impression there? Your speech was really fucked up when you started talking.
I don't know, but I agree with Joe Rogan. It's good and it's bad. Like you said, it's gonna sell tickets. It's gonna put asses in those seats. It's going to fill the bleachers, but it's going to draw the ire of all of, your casual fans. And
are you
all of
cutting
the
a
media.
promo? You're talking like you're cutting a promo.
Scars and scotch.
Well, I'm not cutting one anymore.
I'm just busting your balls, buddy. It was just funny you were speaking. I don't know if this is gonna be good, if this is gonna put asses in seats, but I know one thing. Chris, what do you think about all this shit?
Well, man, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, it gets you invested. Every single one of us is more invested. And one of the things that I heard on the MMA Hour, Ariel Hawaii talking about, is that with too much time in between the announcement of the fight and when the fight takes place, you can get bored of it. You can get sick of it. You can get fed up. But in this case, it's short notice. I don't think it's going to fizzle out, and we're all invested in it now. There's something at stake here. It's a little bit more than your average fight. Do I think it's fake? No, I think it's totally real. The biggest problem is that someone could have gotten hurt. The Athletic Commission has to set a precedent for professional fighters at the highest level in MMA going at it before they fight. Now, that's the last thing that you need, because somebody can get injured, so they're going to have to put some kind of ruling out there. They're going to have to put a stamp on it. And it's really good for the promotion. It's good for the UFC. It's good for the fight. I think it's bad for the sport.
Yeah, you have a really interesting viewpoint on it, because you yourself are an aspiring fighter, and I'm sure you're sort of trying to make up your mind, do I want to be a humble guy? Do I want to be respectful? Do I want to talk and make money and put asses in seats and make, myself known? What do you think first as a fan, just seeing Jones and Cormier, and kind of how do you look at it as far as your own career goes? Like, what would you choose to do?
Well, as a fan, and I think we can all agree, it's great. I mean, it's what you want to see. It's you gotta have some character. If you don't have character, and you just fight, then it's boring. I mean, other fighters should be learning and taking notes from Jones and Cormier. Like, I mean, people are like way more interested in this fight now. I mean, as much as I don't like the guy, even Conor McGregor, he has character. These fighters need to have, like, personality. No, I mean, these guys are, like, humble, and they just fight, and they don't talk much. You barely know them. Like, even some of the champions you have right now, like Chris Weidman and TJ Dillashaw and those guys, they don't have any character or personality. And, I mean, when you have those things, it makes people interested. People want to see you fight. Even Chael Sonnen never won a championship, but people want to see him fight. You know why? Because he has personality. He does more than just fight. So, I mean, especially today, you can't just fight. Even like back in the day with Tito, he had personality. People wanted to see him fight. So, guys should take notes. And, I mean, when you do this, you sell fights, and people are more interested and wanting to see you fight. So I think it's great. And I'm not saying that you need to fight at press conferences and everything, but just have some character,
Yeah, and then, it's really like our like Ramses' idol Vince McMahon says, when it comes down to it, it's all about the money, I mean, here I'm pulling up the amazing clip now.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Oh yeah, Joe Rogan too. I guess praise his name.
Did they show
him
him
doing
both?
this damn show? Show them both where?
On Raw.
Yeah, Rogan had a segment, and so did Hogan. Rogan and Hogan. Go ahead, Ramses.
They definitely showed Chael, praise his name. But yeah, the DC versus Jones, the whole brawl thing, and then the press conference, the leaked satellite footage. I'm loving it. I have no complaints. This is how it should be done. This is going to do well. I got people just I'm just walking down the street. I got strangers stopping me and being like, "You hear about DC and Jones, motherfucker?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, word on the street, dude. I got it, dude. I have it in my pocket." And that's been happening left and right. The press conference, the clip that you played, where they started talking about rubbing each other's bellies and you're gonna be my wife. Yeah, that was a damn shame when that went full homo. But luckily, props. I just want to say thank you to Megan Levy, the moderator, ex-girlfriend of mine from high school, actually. And trust me, she ain't putting up with this fancy boyishness. She hates it. Just the boys. I'm not gonna put words in her mouth. I hate it. So a good thing she put a stop to it. She did us all a favor. It was disgusting. Just this talk. I mean, there were kids there present, and that it was like trash talking. Like when it goes wrong, that was 100% fail. You don't really go the homo angle with it. That's the worst thing they could have possibly done. These guys still have some learning to do, but they're getting what matters right. I mean, damn, that brawl, man. It's set it off like Queen Latifah in the movie Set It Off.
Are you or are you not in negotiations to purchase Megan Levy and Joe Benavidez's dog Benji?
Yeah, there's this whole thing where they're like, "Oh, his name's Benny," though. That's like the main, like that's where we're stuck on that point. I will change the dog's name. He will. I mean, I can argue in court that the dog will never know the difference, Benji or Benny. So as soon as we get around that hurdle, it's just a matter of negotiating the final price. But yeah, I'm gonna buy this fucking dog. That's the word on the street. That's the bottom line.
That's fucking beautiful. And we will knock out some just news bits. We're not going to really pass around the table. Mark Bocek retires from MMA. Alexander Gustafsson was successful knee surgery. I think he had his meniscus operated on. Korean Zombie scheduled for a fight against Akira Kurosani at UFC Stockholm October 4th. That will be the co-main event. We're also going to see Gunnar Nelson versus Rick Story as the main event of that card. Uriah Faber suffers an undisclosed injury, will no longer face Masanori Kanehara at UFC Japan September 20th. In steps the guy he just beat, Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. So that'll be a pretty fun fight. Trying to think of any other things that have popped up. We definitely got to break down Metamoris 4 this past Saturday. We didn't have a UFC. We did have a World Series of Fighting, but a ton of people were watching Metamoris 4. Before we could get to Chael's fight, pretty impressive watching Josh Barnett make Dean Lister tap for the first time in 16 years, catch as catch can wrestling. It was really impressive. Yes, he came out wearing a black diaper and wrestling shoes. That was kind of weird. But aside from him coming out like a giant baby in a black diaper, he looked super incredible. He had a size advantage over Lister, which we don't normally see. The diaper thing luckily made Chris laugh pretty hard. Were you able to catch Metamoris, Chris?
Yeah. I didn't catch it live, but I went back and watched it, man. Yeah. Josh Barnett looking like a big dumb baby, beating Dean Lister. That was pretty impressive. I just think Dean's a little too old to face a guy that outweighs him by about 40 or 50 pounds.
Simple enough. Yao and Allen, both of you, as far as technical stuff goes, you're probably more well-versed than the rest of us. Yao, I'll throw to you first. Did you watch the match? What did you take from it? And what are your thoughts on catch wrestling? Catch wrestling.
Yeah, I saw it, and that wasn't supposed to happen. It was kind of disappointing. I mean, Dean Lister, he kind of represents, like, jiu-jitsu, and what is his name? Josh Barnett. He's just like a submission wrestler, but it was disappointing. that shouldn't have happened that way. Josh Barnett is a bum. And it was disappointing to see Dean Lister get tapped like that for the first time in competition in 16 years. But he'll be back.
Whenever someone you don't like wins, I noticed you call him a bum, whether it's Weidman, Dillashaw, Josh. Why is that?
Because I don't like them and they're a bum.
Fair enough. I thought I heard a ghost or something. Was it a gust of wind?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. We all know why Josh Barnett dominated, and that was because he implemented the simplistic attack known as Japanese-style catch wrestling, which we all know trumps any type of laying on your back and playing with other guys' balls with your legs wrapped around them. Okay, Josh Barnett is a Republican, and he doesn't lay on his back for any man, just like Chael Sonnen. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Barnett. Jesus Christ, it was beautiful.
Ramses?
Well, listen, I caught a lot of heat, all right, people. I bought the Morris pay-per-view. I prepaid. I bought it when it was $20 instead of the people that got ripped. Well, they didn't get ripped off, but you know what I'm saying. $30. That's a pretty big hit for a pay-per-view on the internet. That is a jiu-jitsu match. But props to the people that supported the event. It was great. I loved it every minute of it. Some bullshit went down, with a friend of ours, Front Row Brian, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, Morris actually did stand by and support Chael Sonnen. And for that reason alone, I support them, and I wish them nothing but the best. The event was great, but the Josh Barnett versus Dean Lister match, I have to say, people have to keep it honest, I thought it was a work. I thought it was rigged between the two fighters. I mean, and I am catching a lot of heat, a lot of it from Josh Barnett himself. He tweeted me a few times. I mean, he feels disrespected. He was pretty much asking me to apologize, take it back. But the problem is, I have to call it as I see it. And to me, that fight looked like it might have been orchestrated. I'm just one of these guys. I see the boogeyman everywhere. I see conspiracies everywhere. I will err on the side of doubt instead of just blind belief, especially since I follow the business. I talk to enough people in the business. I know the reality of it, and I know the reality of the world that, money talks, people, but not like there was any great amount of money at stake here. But yeah, the Josh Barnett, man, I'm sorry if you are offended. I'm sorry that you are offended. But I'm not sorry about talking honestly about what I saw, and that match looked a little fishy to me, man. It's all stalling and nothing's happening, and then 10 seconds you win for some made-up heavyweight title, like Metamore's title on the spot. Like, there's not even a belt involved. I don't know, man. You got to wake up a little bit earlier to get me. That's all I'm saying. But it was exciting. I loved it. I love entertainment. So thank you for entertaining me, Josh. I would buy it and pay money again. I'm still a big fan of yours. I'm sorry, I'm just being fucking honest, and that's the bottom line. That's the word on the street.
Yeah, Josh came after you and Front Row Brian both pretty hard. Josh and Brian, you did the smart thing and sort of backed away from it, but Josh and Brian were going after one another. Josh going as far to call Brian selfish, because apparently when you fly like 6,000 miles round trip to go to an event on the other side of the country and they kick you out of the event for no reason, apparently you're not allowed to be mad about that. Apparently you have to just take it and not even tweet about it and not mention it. Because Josh is saying, oh, you're being selfish, making a scene, and Chael needed to deal with you. It's like, well, the guy did sort of dedicate a huge chunk of time and money to go to this event that he gets kicked out of, and not just kicked out of, but talked down to like a child. And then he leaves, and Metamorph is like, oh, no, we're sorry. How about a comp ticket? No, it's too late for that shit. But speaking of Brian and Chael and all that, Chael Sonnen, say what you will about him. The guy's got balls. The guy stepped in there against one of the best grapplers the world has ever seen, Chael Sonnen versus Andre Galvao. It took Galvao 12 or 13 minutes to finally hit it, but once he got Chael's back, we all knew that he was in big trouble, and eventually he ended up tapping to a rear naked choke. Alan, I'll throw it to you first because you're probably his biggest fan on the call. What did you think of the match, and what do you think about Chael's career options going forward?
I just want to say, if you want to look at it this way, Chael Sonnen stepped in there for the first time and put it on the line. Very first time competing in jiu-jitsu. And he went, 15, 14, 16 minutes with one of the greatest of all time. I mean, Jesus Christ, somebody give this guy a black belt. He automatically should be given a no-gi jiu-jitsu black belt. He was dominating the match. It was beautiful. Had some really nice control. And I give my hats off to him, man. He did the same thing that I did back in December. I'd never competed in jiu-jitsu before. I went in there and, put it on the line, held my own, and Chael went in there and he did way more than hold his own. He brought it. So hats off to the big guy.
Yeah, you had the unpopular opinion of rooting for Galvao because you're somewhat of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu purist, and let's face it, the guy Chael was fighting was darker than Chael, so of course you're going to root for the other guy. But what did you think of Andre Galvao tapping Chael Sonnen and Alan? Actually, what does Chael do now? Does he keep doing Metamoris events? Does he wait out the 2-year ban and try and get back into fighting? What's next?
First off, he's going to sue the fuck out of the NASC for threatening him and trying to hold him out and keep him from competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament, which is not a combat sport, which they had no right to try and levy their weight around and threaten him. They had absolutely no right. So he's going to sue the shit out of them. They'll probably drop his suspension completely down, maybe to 6 months to 9 months, just like, the aforementioned Vitor Belfort, who is only serving like a 9-month suspension technically. So since there's precedent with that, Chael will probably be allowed back into the UFC. Nick Diaz is going to pull out of his fight with Anderson Silva. Chael's going to be awarded the fight with Anderson Silva. He's going to dominate Anderson, and he's going to get that middleweight title shot. I predict all of that. Yeah, of course.
Are you holding a small dog or animal right now?
Actually, I was doing the War Machine on my fiance.
Oh, okay. I rest my case.
Good times. Yao, what did you think about the match?
As a jiu-jitsu guy, I was definitely rooting for Andre Galvao. He's one of my favorite jiu-jitsu fighters. I was very happy when he submitted Chael Sonnen. I wanted him to win. And, people saying he was dominating the match and this and that. I mean, he never really passed him. He never put Galvao in any trouble. So to say that he was dominating by just sitting there hand fighting is ridiculous. Some people are saying he deserves a black belt. Come on. Let's not get too ridiculous now. Because he's obviously not on that level. But Galvao did great. He showed that jiu-jitsu beats wrestling once again, and it does. So it was great. I was very happy. That's what I was looking forward to the most. And Chael Sonnen should just retire from life.
Ooh. I'll let Chris. I'll let you jump in, but Ramses and Alan, feel free to fire back at any time.
Actually, yeah, I just do want to say, Chris. Sorry, Yao. What can I say about this kid, man? You hope for the best But like, growing up in Queens, it's only a matter of time before they experiment with crack, and it looks like tonight was the night for poor Yao. Man, you gotta stick to training, man. Get your head together, man. You're not thinking clearly. I don't even know what you were just saying. You made no sense at all right now. Son and Chench. I'm too used to tagging him on Twitter. Sonnen was dominant. And you got to stay off the drugs, Yao, man. I mean, it's like the movie Coming to America. You keep it up, you're gonna get fired. Word on the street.
Chael bladed himself though, trying to get out of the match. He felt Galvao and was like, "Oh God, I don't want this." Bladed himself, trying to get the match to be stopped.
Nah, he was just trying to increase the entertainment. But no, he was trying to give the fans their money's worth. Like, he was the only person at Metamoris that actually bled for Metamoris.
What did he do, Ramses?
Chael Sonnen was the only person at Metamoris that bled for Metamoris. Word on the street.
Bled. Chris?
His own blood.
I really don't see how you reference Coming to America. Love that movie. Don't know what that has to do with it, but
it's the scene where Hakeem Eddie Murphy is mopping the floor at McDowell's restaurant in front of the owner, and he starts talking about how he saw the Knicks basketball game or football game, and he's like, at the end they kicked the ball through this giant receptacle or some crap, and it was amazing. And then Mr. McDowell, the owner, says, "I'm only going to tell you this once, son. Stay off the drugs or you're going to get fired."
Okay, I get it. See, that was a long reference, but it was worth it. It was worth the wait.
Word on the street.
Word on the street. Yeah, man. Chael Sonnen, I have to side with Yao on this one. He's a fantastic human being. But when it comes to competition, he'll always be second. The guy finds a way to lose. And if you watch that match as a real person like me and Yao did, you watch it, he sat in Galvao's guard for 13 minutes and everyone praised him. Oh, he survived. The second Galvao got an opening, he took the back. 2 minutes later, sunk in the choke. Chael Sonnen gets praised for surviving against Galvao, who he outweighed by quite a bit. Come on, son. Come on. Galvao all day.
They kicked out his entire support group, all right? They removed, it was strategic. It was surgical the way they got rid of Front Row Brian and also a few others, but they're not famous or anything. He was sabotaged. You saw him before the match even began. They showed a picture of Sonnen and he was out cold. Like, it looked like they were like, oh, he's just resting, he's sleeping. He was probably at some point poisoned. And Galvao, come on, man. Like that, if someone's cheating, he's cheating more. That's all I'm saying.
Galvao
Word on that street.
5'9", 190 pounds. Chael Sonnen.
He was built like a gorilla,
dude,
and a gorilla on that shit from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. He was taking that shit.
Let's be honest here. We're talking about trying to praise Galvao for beating a guy who's been doing what he's been doing since he was like 10 years old. A guy who's been doing it for like a couple of weeks.
So don't sign the fight then. If it's so outmatched, don't sign the fight.
Exactly.
No, but everybody's saying he did so well. I think he did terrible considering the fact that it took him fucking 13, 14 minutes to even get to a good position with a guy who doesn't even have a white belt in jiu-jitsu. That's terrible. His black belt, to me, it doesn't mean anything, and that's the bottom line, because the Eagle said so.
That's right.
Caca.
He was playing with them, and Chael outweighed him too. Like, come on!
Don't use that excuse.
But the most
Don't
ridiculous
use that excuse. You outweighed me in Vegas by like 13 pounds, and I didn't use that excuse.
the most ridiculous part though is people are all like, "Oh yeah, Chael Sonnen this, Chael Sonnen's gonna win. Oh, he's gonna dominate. Oh, blah blah blah. Oh, wrestling beats jiu-jitsu." And then after he loses, everyone's like, "Oh, come on, don't be so hard on him. He doesn't really do jiu-jitsu. He went out there and did what other people wouldn't do." Like, come on, just stop.
Well, I don't think it's unfair to say, yeah, Chael lost. The fact it took Andre Galvao 13 minutes to tap him, in my eyes, is pretty impressive. I mean, I think most everyone thought it would happen in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. Not because Chael is a bum at all, but because Andre is one of the best in the world. So to say, yeah, he's definitely deficient compared to jiu-jitsu, yeah, sure. But to be like, oh, he was obviously all doped up and he should retire at life. I mean, I know you're joking, but there is so much hate for Chael Sonnen, and honestly, I think all 5 of us like him and think he is a good guy. So it's just like, once you start ragging on him, it seems like that same old story of people, just hating Chael mercilessly.
Well, no, it's not hating on him at all, man. Like 13 minutes with a black belt, like Galvao, absolutely, yes, you should take that into consideration. But you can't give him props for that, in my mind. You can't do that because of the weight differential, and he sat in the guard. If he was passing, if he was improving position, I would give him props. But he just sat there, and then the second Galvao got a dominant position, he subbed him. So I just can't give him props for that. I can't.
Exactly.
He didn't just sit there. And I've watched black belts go in there with purple belts and blue belts and brown belts and finish them quicker from the full guard than Galvao finished Chael.
It was a 40-pound weight difference, man.
I've seen guys with more weight difference finish guys quicker. Yao can tell you the same thing. He can't lie about that. We have a guy, Andrew. Do you not see that at the gym? I mean, I guess you don't have any black belts that are as good as the ones at my gym.
Any black?
Whoa!
Hey, pussy, you still there?
Like the black belts from Louisiana that went up to Chicago. I want to give a shout out to my gym. Went up there and dominated and took home all those gold medals and brought them back to Louisiana.
UFC Gym 225 on Twitter. Yao, your response?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I mean, Chael didn't even really attack though. Like he sat there and he kind of stalled out. He never really tried to aggressively, like, not even, it doesn't even have to be aggressive. Did he even try to advance his position? Did he try to pass? Did he try to look for any type of submissions? No, he kind of sat there and stalled out. I don't know what his game plan was, and I don't care, but he didn't even try to do anything. Once Galvao had the opportunity, he took his back and choked him out, and that was it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is coming. Let me give you some context. This is coming from the guy who ran from me for 9 minutes.
Oh shit, man! Let me tell you
Ran
something.
from you? You mean that took you down repeatedly?
No, it took me down once. The second time it took me down, I was able to get top and get back up.
I've been getting a lot of tweets asking me, where is the video? Did the fight ever take place? Alan, I think you know better than most. Why hasn't the video been posted? Where is the video? I'm going to get fucking bitched out so hard for this. But go ahead, Alan.
It's a valid question.
Because Ross is a goddamn Jew!
Oh, man. But, people, the footage is slowly being leaked. Follow Westland Eagle AH on Instagram for highlights. Once one of us gets all the footage, we'll just put it all together and make a video of it. I guess, apparently Ross's camera was running out of battery, so the first 2 rounds kept, like, turning off and on, and it's very intermittent. But the third round he did on his phone.
No.
Much better.
No, the first 2 rounds are complete. The third round, we're only missing, like, maybe 5 seconds. Or no, I'm trying to think. There's 2 complete rounds, and then the third round is there's like a little maybe 20-second part that we don't have, but other than that, it's complete. Like, it just has to be put in together because it's cut into like 15 different videos. I don't know why he did it that way, but there's a lot of good footage there. I'm gonna try to get all the material to Jake, and that way he can put it together. Maybe put some music to it. Use the cool footage that Ross took of Yao and me like during the week, because there's a lot of really cool stuff there, like some cinematography going on with Yao walking through the hotel, and us warming up, different stuff. A lot of cool stuff. So we'll try to get all that done for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put Jake in charge of it. I'll have to give him a stipend and pay him until it's done.
Yeah, I'll match up the videos, and as far as audio goes, I figure I could probably just put the audio from the Buck Stops Here 4 or Fuck Buck 5 on it, and I figured that would probably work. Right, Alan?
I'm going to kill.
I want to say one more thing, man. I want to say one more thing about the Sun and Galval match, because something has to be pointed out here. Chris and Yao, this is ridiculous. Your tongues must be forked in the middle because they're hung on both ends, or whatever that saying is. You guys should be fucking lawyers with your. He just sat there in his guard. Like, I like how you're twisting that around, like making it look like a guy being over you in a top dominating position is him sitting in your guard. No. All right. Chael was dominating. He wasn't in anybody's guard. He was in the dominant position. You guys are trying to flip that around with your little phrases, your little terminologies, your lies. But I'm here bringing people what I've always brought them since day one, the truth, a.k.a. the word on the street.
So if we wrestle and I hold you down and hold your shoulders and we fight hands and I just sit there in between your legs for 15 minutes, I won? That's how that works?
You did more than Ramses.
It would appear to everyone watching that you were whooping my ass. I mean, as far as the street goes. And that's the bottom line.
I don't think we need to argue anymore. There's only two words that need to be said to sum up what took place on Saturday night, and that is right. Undefeated and undisputed.
God bless.
Undefeated, undisputed. I try and be as non-biased as possible, and I said last week I was going to be rooting for Chael. I really, really hope he fucking wins. But I just didn't see how he was going to be able to defeat a top, like, not just a black belt, but one of the best black belts in the world. After the fight, it was pretty interesting. I'm pulling up the article here. Renato Laranja snubs Chael. We all know this is obviously, him being in a character, but a lot of people were really kind of, ticked off by it. Like, really? You're just like gonna be a dick to the guy who just lost in the main event? Swig a beer for the working man. Chris, the man, the legend, the 25 or the 27-time world champion. Did you see what was in all the people being super pissed off about Chael going to shake Laranja's hand after the fight or the match, and Renato snubs him?
I can't blame him whatsoever, man. He's fake Brazilian. He's a mulatto actor pretending to be a Brazilian guy. So to see what he did, I gotta respect it, man. He's staying in character.
Alan?
What's crazy is that he apologized, like, because of the outrage, because of my tweet. Let's just put it out there. That's why, because I have met Renato in person, and when he threatened Vinny at UFC 159, I had to backhand him and put him in his place.
Is that when he made fun of Vinny getting knocked out? That was bad.
No, this was way before. This was way before that.
You remember that? Yeah, just a little side note. Sorry, Alan. When Vinny got knocked out.
Vinny never got knocked out. Vinny's undefeated, undisputed. I don't know.
Well,
what you're talking
right
about.
when it appeared that Vinny got knocked out in like 7 seconds by Anthony Perosh, his last UFC fight.
Bad stoppage.
Immediately, Renato Laranja tweeted "ha ha 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 ha" in all capital letters. So that was more tasteless than this. But go on. Sorry.
Yeah, he immediately recanted his statement, apologized to the man Chael Sonnen, and he also sent me a direct message which I cannot release because he begged me, in all caps, not to post and make public. But the power of Twitter, it's amazing. It can make a grown man act like a child.
Yao and Chroma, the truth. What's with all these Sonnen fans? Do they have a legitimate beef, or is it just sour grapes?
Wait, I thought we were talking about Renato Laranja.
We are. Are Chael fans being mad? Is that, like, legit? Like, what did you think of it from Laranja's side? Was it a dick thing to move? What was it a dick move? The Sonnen fan side, do they have a legitimate reason to be pissed at him?
Nah, because he's just staying in character, which is good. And the way I look at it, a lot more people know who he is now from that. So, I mean, it's only a plus. But what he should have done was arm dragged him, took his back, and choked him again. That's what I would have done.
Chris?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Sorry about that.
I apparently have to I have to repeat the topic every time. Renato Laranja snubs Chael. What'd you think about it from Chael's side?
From Chael's side. Okay.
Laranja's side.
Yeah, I already talked about
Was it a dick
Laranja. Thing? I said he was a mulatto guy staying in character, but as far as Chael's side...
I passed
I don't really care.
I'm fucking dumb. Ramses, bring it home for us. I'm too high.
You. Listen, people. I will actually break character for a second just to tell you what I really think about this whole thing. I am, of course, the number one Chael Sonnen fan. I mean, me and Alan the Eagle would have to probably battle it out. But, I'm just going to say right now, I'm the number one Chael Sonnen full believer, fan. Love the guy. Always have his back. But I will say that Metamoris invited Renato Laranja to come to their event. And now they're giving him heat when he's acting like Renato Laranja. Like, what did they think? I even tweeted Renato this, man, just letting them know, man. It's just like, he is a method actor in this particular role that he's doing. I mean, people love it. Come on. So, like, don't get mad. This is like when people were blowing up at Bloodstained Lane. It's the same argument. Like, you have to understand, Renato Laranja is basically the Iron Sheik of MMA. Like, you can't get offended by this shit. It's all a joke. It's a character.
Exactly.
He has nothing against Chael Sonnen. But apparently, I'm guessing the heat was just too strong. Someone was like, you disrespected him at our event. It's a Gracie event. You never know how this shit goes. I mean, for Christ's sake, Eddie Bravo was puking in a goddamn dumpster, and Hoist Gracie was like, now's the time. I'm just going to give this man some shit about disrespect. You never know what happens at these events. But yeah, man, Renato, he's a method actor. He's really fucking good at it. And this is what he was doing. And there's no doubt about that in my mind. He's not just trying to honestly disrespect another human being and hurt feelings. It was just a goof. He was invited to be there as Renato Laranja, and that's what he showed up as. So what the fuck do you expect? Give him a break, and this is coming from me. Word on the street.
There you go. Just a couple more topics to break down really quickly instead of a 10 solid seconds of sports this week, because just like in MMA, it was a dark week for sports. A sprint car driver got killed by a popular NASCAR driver, Tony Stewart, so definitely thoughts to the family of Kevin Ward Jr., thoughts to the family of Robin Williams. We lost a great comic today as well. On brighter topic, Cowboy Cerrone found not guilty on assault charges. Apparently head kicked a dude on a dock or something, like trying to protect himself or something. I don't know what it was.
Self-defense, motherfuckers.
That happened like less than a year ago. Like
Yeah,
he did it. He did it
yeah.
again.
No, they went to court about it.
I missed the first part then.
You
Sorry.
know, it takes forever, man, for that legal system to take its.
I thought he did that shit again. Showdowns at the dock, man. Hey, come on, man. He's got too much money for that.
I was dipping out. Yeah, I was dipping out because it's late as shit in New York. We appreciate you staying up with us, and definitely good luck this weekend at the IBJJF in New York. Any other shout-outs before we let you go?
I love all of you.
Episode
go win me some more medals, yo.
I'm glad you could be on it. Baby bro, you're going to take home gold. We'll talk to you later. Peace. And he's out of there. It's just the whites now. And we're going to break down UFC Fight Night, Ovin St. Preux versus Ryan Bader. What exactly is your background? Your name's Ramses. A lot of people would probably assume you're Egyptian.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
He is Egyptian. That's right. Let's get to UFC Fight Night, Bader versus St. Preux. I threw him a curveball, and usually he knocks him out of the park, but I don't know if you could call that. What just happened? They're doing a card in Maine. Whenever they first set it up, a lot of people thought that they might sign Tim Sylvia, being the Maniac, but they didn't sign him. They've got a few decent fights. We'll start with the prelim card on Fox Sports 2. Nolan Tickman versus Frankie Sands at bantamweight. Haven't heard of either guy, to be completely honest. Tom Watson taking on Smiling Sam Alvey at middleweight. Sarah McMahon going to be taking on Lauren Murphy. I think McMahon's probably the biggest favorite on the card. Zach Makovsky, also a big favorite over Husier Formiga. Thiago Tavares taking on Robbie Peralta at featherweight. At heavy, we got Sean Jordan taking on Jack May. The brother of Duke, Seth Baczynski, going to be taking on Alan Jouban at welterweight. Tim Boetsch and Brad Tavares at middleweight. And we'll get to the main and co-mains on their own. Which of those fights stands out for you? For me, I don't know if any fight stands out. You have names that stand out, like McMahon, Makovsky, Tavares. I guess as far as a fight goes, Boetsch versus Tavares is pretty decent. If Boetsch wins, I don't know if his time in the UFC is still going to be going down. Sarah McMahon, I think, is pretty universally thought of as a top 5 women's bantamweight, so I fully expect her to win, along with fun-size Zach Makovsky, who actually got to catch in his last fight before he went to the UFC at RFA 11. Alan, what stands out for you of all these fights?
I just want to see Sarah McMahon do some work, get some wrestling practice in, so when she gets that rematch with Ronda Rousey, she can dominate her. Yeah, also, I think Makovsky, that fight is going to be retarded because Chusier, dude's quick, dude's athletic, he's got really good jiu-jitsu, and is, really good counter wrestling. Zach is a wrestler, has some good striking, but I think that's actually going to be the best fight on that prelim card.
Chris?
You know what, man? What stands out to me, lock for fight of the night for me is Tavares Peralta. These guys bring it every time. Lighter weight class. I think this is at 145. I think Tavares dropped down. So that should be fun. Alan Jouban is a 10th planet guy that's coming over. He's pretty highly touted, so we should see some exciting stuff from him. He's got some very nice Muay Thai and a sick rubber guard game, so we should see that. And then I think the most important thing out of this card, it's not Bader or St. Preux. I mean, this fight doesn't matter that much. I think it's whether or not Gray Maynard can take a punch anymore. I think come fight night, we're going to find out if his chin can hold up. And if I had to guess, I'd say it doesn't, and he gets knocked out for a third consecutive time.
Yeah, we're not touching on that fight quite yet.
Okay.
It's all good. Pardon me, Jesus Christ. Did we already get you, Alan? Sorry, I've got 3 people texting me now.
Jake, you already got me.
I'm also high as shit. Ramses?
Yeah, sorry, guy. Yeah, well, I'm a mess too. Don't worry about it, Jake. All right, this is your 100th episode. You've come a long way.
I'm celebrating.
Yeah, we understand, man. But yeah, the only this card coming up. The only thing that matters to me is, of course, the Maynard fight. But I'll entertain. I'll just say this: the Tim Boesch fight versus Brad Tavares. I swore to myself. I still remember. I don't remember what fight did it, but even Joey Diaz will tell you there was this one horrible pay-per-view where Tim Boesch. It was just terrible match. Maybe it was Nick Ring. I don't remember the exact one.
Hector Lombard. Definitely that fight.
Wasn't that at... what the fuck? Wasn't that at 166? Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was a terrible Tim Boesch fight, and I swore to myself I would never buy another Tim Boesch fight. And I'm holding true to that, but luckily this is on free TV. So for that reason alone, I might accidentally watch this fight, but I just wanted to point out that I haven't forgotten. He had a terrible fight. He should be cut. I don't even know why he's part of this still signed. I don't know why this is happening. I have to assume it's a sick joke. And that's the bottom line.
Let's get to the co-main. Chris, you already broke it down, so we'll throw it to Alan. Gray Maynard and Ross Pearson. Chris, you you said it better than I could have. This is really a test for Maynard's chin, because the biggest question mark of either guy is Gray's chin, and Pearson definitely has knockout power. Actually, Alan, before we get to you, Chris, who is your pick as far as winning? You taking Pearson?
I'm definitely taking Pearson. At this point, Gray's had a little bit of a break, but I think he's too shop worn. The war is with, Frankie that he had. Those will take a lot out of you, man. 50 minutes or, whatever it was, 45 minutes with Frankie, and most of that getting your ass whooped, getting punched in the face, along with wars against Nate Diaz. He had 2 of them, once on Tough, once outside of it. I don't think he can take it anymore.
Alan?
Is Gray Maynard even a fighter anymore? Hell no. I think Ross Pearson knocks him out in the first round, man. When Frankie Edgar's knocking you out and then you're getting knocked out multiple times, you're done, son. Stick to coaching and stay out that cage.
Break it down for us. Ramses, cocksucker.
Gray Maynard used to be in my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. He's been, I've had to remove him from that top 5 slot status, but I still believe in Gray Maynard. I think he's just had a little bit of a slump, which he's never had before. So everyone's like, oh, he's done. But, maybe this is just, everyone, you're not always kicking ass at work, people, let's be honest. And he went through some shit. His last fights, he was coming off the loss of his beloved pet dog. That's not to be taken lightly. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying I still believe in Gray Maynard. I think he's going to come through. I think he's going to win. I think Ross Pearson is going to end up piled up like so much blood, shit, and piss. Word on the street.
Word on the street. My pick, I'm gonna look at the odds actually. Pearson a slight favorite over Gray. Just for the sake of playing devil's advocate, I'm gonna say Gray Maynard makes a comeback. For a long time we thought of this guy as a top 5 lightweight. We've never really thought of Ross Pearson as that. So I think as far as skill sets go, Maynard's got a better one. But you all are right in that Man, Gray's really got to show off a better chin here, or else he could be in a lot of trouble. Main event, Ryan Bader, a sizable favorite against OSP, minus 165 to OSP's 145. Bader, has... it seems like he's still a young guy, but the reality of it is he's been around a while and he's fought a lot of guys, at least a lot more than OSP. He has fought Tito, John Jones, Little Nog, Rampage, Lyoto, the Janitor, Glover. He's fought a lot of dudes. He just beat Anthony Peroche and Rafael Cavalcante back to back. OSP is going to be a tougher challenge in that he's a wrestler like Bader. Alan, I'll throw it to you first. OSP Bader, which way are you leaning in this one?
My heart says OSP, but my brain's telling me Ryan Bader. I think Ryan Bader's, more well-rounded. He's further along in his development as a MMA fighter. He's got the complete, the wrestling game, counter wrestling, offense, defense, striking, everything, man. Jiu-jitsu. Got size, speed, endurance out the ass. But, something in me just wants OSP to win, man. The dude had some crazy little fights. He's knocked 2 people out from their closed guard. He had that crazy, I don't remember what the freaking name of the choke was, but it was the choke that he did at UFC 171 over my boy Al Capone. He's looked good in the octagon so far. In Strikeforce, he wasn't too bad. The kid's developing. I think he's a talent to look out for. I just don't know if he's far enough along in his development at this stage to beat Ryan Bader. But he definitely has a chance. I'm thinking it's like a 60-40 Bader to OSP. Percentage breakdown for this fight as the who I think is going to win. And
was it the Von Fluke choke?
Yes,
Yep.
the Von Fluke choke where
The
the
Von
guy
Flu?
where the guy doesn't release the guillotine hold when you're in side control, and you use his own momentum to choke him out.
Naturally.
But I want OSP to win, but something's telling me Ryan Bader's gonna get the job done.
What are you thinking, Chris?
Man, I think I'm thinking what you think, Jake. Nobody gives a shit about this fight. I consider myself a hardcore, and I really don't care. I mean, Ryan Bader
Am I
is never...
nobody?
Well, apparently when it comes to this fight, because who the hell cares, man? Bader is never going to sniff out that title. He's lost to the best. He has a glass jaw, and OSP got out-wrestled by Mousasi at light heavyweight. There's no way either of these guys matter. They're never going to matter. This fight sucks.
Damn, to the fucking point. For main event, this isn't the best fight I've ever seen. Ramses?
Yeah, man. Ryan Bader, I'm sorry, always sets off my work alarm. Ever since the Tito thing. Come on, give me a break. This OSP, of course you need a black GSP if you're the UFC brass. Bader's gonna put him over. He's a company man. He is the quintessential example of a gatekeeper. And, we all love him. He's a good guy. He's got name status. He's tough, whatever. But let's face it. It's time for the black GSP. That's exactly what's going to happen. Because if I were in control of the UFC, that's exactly what I would do.
That's right. Anyone have anything else before we send it out? Nope, let's send this bad boy out. Also a quick note, Dog the Bounty Hunter, literally an hour ago, tweeted at War Machine, better to give all your excuses to the judge. You got 24 hours to turn yourself in, or I'm coming after you. Hashtag CMT Dog and Beth. So either way, War Machine is fucked if he's got Dog the Bounty Hunter coming after him. Thank you so so much. Thank you, the listener, helping, keeping us going. Thank you guys who are on the call. If you're listening and you've tweeted at us, called in, been a part of this crazy ride that has been the first 100 episodes of the MMA Podcast, we appreciate the shit out of you, and we can't wait for the next 100. Chris, where do we find you?
You can find me at C. Lowenstein or roaming the streets. Yeah.
E before the I. Alan?
You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, exclusively at Westland Eagle AH.
E before the A. Ramses, what do you got to say for yourself? You
Follow me on
cocksucker.
Twitter. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jake, from the MMA Podcast, 100th episode. Follow me on Twitter, The Aunt Jimmy Show. And War Machine, if you're listening, kill yourself. Word on the street.
That's at the end of episode 100. We will be back tomorrow night for the Word on the Street. We will be back next week for episode 101. Can't wait for the next 100 episodes, cocksuckers. I think that's about it. Just thank y'all so much. We go!
Science, silencing all these idiots caught up in all their ignorance. Two clans fighting under the same banner. We all got love for this ground game, and that's all that matters. In the balance of the teachings of the Grandmaster, I'm trying to master the system, that's what I'm after. And stay true to the craft, spark trees to relax. Old school miracle, lyrical, lacing the track. And I'm working the